Hi, everybody. Welcome to Design and Engineering. This is Mr. Condit. Wish we were all together, but that's just not how we're going to start the year. If you are listening to this movie, I've got to say good job, because that means you've found my page in Schoology. It means you've come to here. It means you've downloaded, hopefully, your free version of SketchUp. And obviously, you've clicked on the link to this movie, or you wouldn't be hearing it. I'm going to give a quick overview of the class, kind of what will be expected of you and the like. And when we have our first Zoom meeting, I can answer any more questions, because I'm sure I'll probably have some. At any rate, what you're going to see here is my school. What you're looking at right now, rather, is my Schoology page. These are all the drawings you will be doing over the course of the course. And I want to jump really quickly to SketchUp itself, and a couple of things that we ran into last year. We'll probably find some more this year. The version that we use online is a little bit different, not quite as powerful as the version we use when we're down in the computer lab, and it brought some issues last year. So at any rate, when you're on SketchUp, whenever you're starting a new document, or a new drawing, not document, you always want to use the feet and inches template. You can see we have millimeters and meters and metric. We always want to use feet and inches. And for every single drawing you do, start a new drawing. Don't try and put two drawings on one thing, because that creates some problems. So we select that. Here would be your opening SketchUp page. It's always got this gal yakking on her cell phone. So we're going to take that off, and I just want to show you a couple of things we ran into last year. One is on the directions, the tools on here don't look exactly like they'll be on the movies, and the movies are up here. That's because it's a slightly different version of SketchUp. So in the first few drawings, you're going to have to find all those tools over here, which will probably be a little frustrating, but they are all here. You're just going to have to kind of stick with finding all those. And I'm just going to do a quick, very simple little drawing to show a couple things. I'm going to pull out a rectangle here. And as I pull the rectangle out, you'll see that down here in the lower right-hand corner, it gives me the dimensions of that rectangle. This one's 7 feet, 4 inches, 15/16 of an inch, 9 feet, 1 5/8 inch. That's how big this is. And you'll find some places in the directions where it tells you to blank that out and type in a different measurement to get a more exact measurement. And that's one of the things that we can't do on this version of SketchUp. So anytime you're told you need something this big, just get it close to that size. And as long as it looks relatively like it does on the directions, you're fine. You're not going to lose any points for not having those dimensions be exact. The other thing is, let me just change this drawing a little bit. The other thing is that when you're done with a drawing, and I'm just going to pretend this is a drawing I've had you do, it obviously isn't. But when you're done with a drawing, you're going to have to turn it in to me, and I can't get online for your stuff. So here's how you'll have to turn it in. Let's say this was a drawing that you had completed. What you're going to need to do for this drawing is you're going to have to take at least 3 screenshots of it from different angles to turn it in. So I might want a screenshot of this, move it around a little bit, maybe give me the backside, a screenshot of that, and then maybe a screenshot of that. If I don't have enough, if you turn them in and there's not enough, I may email you back and say to give me some more. But basically, when you're done with an assignment, you'll just email me the screenshots of your completed assignment, again, at least 3, so I can grade it. And then when I grade it, I'll email you back and tell you what your grade was. And if it's not what you want, you can redo it and resubmit it. So at any rate, that's basically the turning in of things in SketchUp. I can't get on your stuff, so I'm going to have to, on your site, so I'm going to have to see it in screenshots. Okay. Now, what is the best way to do or to learn SketchUp? Well, I'm going to go back to my Schoology site for a minute. I'll delete all that. In Schoology, you can see these are the 9 drawings that we'll be doing in class. And if you click on any one of these, it's very simple, because all you see is a link to the instructions. And when you click on those instructions, it'll take you right to the how to draw it movie. Okay? And all of these, me shut that up. All of these drawings have a movie that go with them, and I'm going to advance this movie a bunch. You can see that this movie is like 10 plus minutes long right here. And there's no way anybody, even you young people that are more nimble than old guys like me, there's no way that anybody can look at a 10-minute movie that's got, 20 different directions and then just all of a sudden go over here to SketchUp and draw it. So the recommendation on all these is to have the movie up at the same time your drawing's up. Just watch a little bit of the movie till they tell you to do one thing. So I'm trying to find that first thing. Here is the first thing that the movie will have you do. It's going to have you make a rectangle for the bottom of this house and then pull it up. So you could watch that, pause that, come over here and draw it. And as soon as you've completed that little part, you come back to the movie. Okay, so that's the recommended way to learn SketchUp, is to have both these things up at a time. And when you're done, again, you'll take your 3 or 4 screenshots. You'll email them to me. When you email them to me, please have the title of the project. So just say Simple House. And that way, when I see that in your subject line, I'll know that I'm getting your drawings for the Simple House instructions. And then you just work your way through all these drawings. Okay. Now, another thing is the pacing of the class. You are not going to see any due dates on these drawings. And I do the same thing when we are in the class here at school. Everybody kind of finishes these at different rates, although you should be roughly in the same area. And what I do is, as soon as I get about 80% of the class that's turned in a drawing, then I go ahead and put it in PowerSchool. If you're one of the 80% that's turned it in, you'll see that drawing show up with a score. However, if you pull your pull PowerSchool up and you look at it and you don't have a score for that, that's an indication you need to get that in pretty darn soon, because that tells you that most of the class has got it done and you have not. If that stays still undone for 3 to 4 days, depending on the drawing, then I'll actually add a score of 0 to your drawing, and that's going to make your grade look really terrible. And I don't want you to worry about that necessarily, but I do want you to try and pick up your pace a little bit, because there's no such thing as kind of late work in this class. In other words, if I give you a 0 because you haven't turned something in and you turn it into me, you can still get full credit, and that would pull your grade right back up to an A if we just had this one drawing. So again, check PowerSchool regularly to kind of check your progress. Let's say that I put up drawing 2 and you're working on drawing 4. That tells you that you're actually way ahead of the class. Okay. But the main one would be if you either don't have a score in for a drawing, or you have a 0 in, that means you need to get that drawing into me. And the other reason you want to check that is so I don't make any mistakes with it as well, which I have in the past. At any rate, the other thing is, I don't know, we've never done this online before. I don't know exactly how many of these drawings we will get through. Very potentially all of them. This is actually fewer drawings than we normally do in a 12-week course, but we're also not in class and you can't get help as easily, which is going to slow you down probably quite a bit. So let's say we're in the 9th week and I've only got the metal stool. In other words, 80% of the people have gotten to the metal stool and completed all these drawings, but we haven't done that. I'll send everybody out an email and it'll probably say the pencil topper will be the last assignment due, and we'll just skip these 2. But right now I can't really say what will be the final drawing because I've never done this online before. Okay. And then a couple of final things would be that the grading for the class will be as follows. 1 will be participation, and that's going to be at Zoom meetings. I am going to run a Zoom meeting every period that we have design and engineering. So every Monday or every Thursday, I think, is what your second period is set out right now. Those would be the Zoom meeting days, and the amount of time that Zoom meeting takes may be almost nothing. It may be longer. but you need to show up at least so I can take roll and see that you were there. So during Zoom meetings, if you want full credit, and this is 5 points per week, you have to leave your microphone off at all times unless directed by me to turn it on. Please don't have your microphone on so that we're hearing multiple voices in the Zoom meeting. You must behave appropriately on video. Obviously, no making faces or dancing around or holding up signs or anything like that. You guys all know appropriate behavior. And this is the important one. You have to be logged in under your given name. Now, you may not have a choice of that this year. They've made some changes over the summer. But if you do have a choice, don't make some sort of meme name for yourself, because then I don't know who you are, and I'll miss you on the roll. Now, on the Zoom meeting, guys, it may be as quick as getting on the Zoom meeting, me asking if there's any questions, and if they're not, I take roll and say meeting over. It might be something like I've graded the first one on the simple house drawing. I've got 5 people that need some help on it. And so I'll say everybody that is not on the simple house project, leave the meeting. And we'll just get down to the 5 people that need my help. And I can kind of work with smaller groups that way. So we'll just kind of have to feel these Zoom meetings out and see how they go. But like I said, it could be very possible that you will just need to log into the Zoom meeting. And once I tell everybody that roll is done, then I can say, here's who needs to go. Here's who needs to stay. Our first one that we do will probably be a little bit longer because people may have some questions after watching this video still. And just so you know, in all Zoom meetings, you will find the Zoom meeting number and the password written right on this Welcome to Design and Engineering page. It doesn't have it on right now, but I will just say Zoom meeting and I'll have the date, and that's where you can get that login information. Okay. And then the second part of the grade is going to be the scores for your drawings. Most of the drawings are worth 10 points. 3 of the drawings, the desk, which is drawing 4, the wooden stool, which is drawing 5, and the chessboard, which is drawing 9, are going to be worth 15 because they're a little bit more involved and a little bit more difficult. So we'll up those. Again, if you ever get a score for a drawing that is less than full credit, I'll tell you why on the email, and you can fix it and return it into me. Please, please, please don't be tempted to turn in somebody else's work. That ran into a couple of these last spring, and it's actually pretty easy for me to tell if work's been copied, even if it's just in a screenshot. So please don't do that. And, I don't want anybody to be stressed out about this class. I think that this is a very doable amount. The amount of time I'm kind of expecting you to work on it a week is going to be the 2 hours that you have class, to the 2 hour periods you would have class for the week on Mondays and Thursdays, and the other one would be an hour on Wednesdays. So maybe 3 hours of week in your drawings should keep you up to speed with the rest of the class. Okay, so that is just a very quick run through. I hope it is very, very simple. 99% of this class will be spent just you on your computer at home going through and doing these projects. When you're done, again, you'll screenshot them, attach those to an email, and in the subject bar of the email, you will have the name of the drawing. Any other questions you have, just write them down and save them for our first Zoom meeting, which we'll do on whatever our first day of school is that we have class. So I'm not quite sure when that is, but you will know. Okay. And thanks for finding this far and getting this far. And thanks for listening to these directions. All right. Bye, everybody. See you at Zoom.